In this video, I want to share something with you guys that I wish I knew when I was 21. This is how to max out all the stats on your life, grow exponentially into the health, wealth, status, lifestyle, dating, social circle, financial freedom that you want. And this is going to be a massive shortcut. Now, what inspired this video is for the past 4 months, I've been living in Medellin, Colombia, and I've seen a different way that the society operates here, and specifically the society of expats, digital nomads from the US, Canada, Europe that come here and live in the Poblado neighborhood, which is the upper class neighborhood within Colombia, and the level of lifestyle plus access to high level people that anyone who moves here can easily attain. And this isn't a video about promoting Medellin. There are other cities around the world that have a similar effect to this, whether it's Bali, Portugal, etc., any of these entrepreneur hotspots. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Okay, so there are 3 key levers to life maxing at 21. And before I get into all this, let me just clarify. I'm not 21 years old, I'm 33. But what inspired this is I met a 21-year-old kid down here who's making 20, 30 grand a month, who's surrounded by multimillionaires and is just leveling up in every way in a level of lifestyle acceleration that is insane. And when I think about myself at 21, I was doing my undergraduate degree in business, which was not a terrible use of time, but it's insane to think how much faster I could have progressed and moved ahead if I had followed the steps of my 21-year-old friend here in Medellin. So let's get back into it. The first lever is access. The second lever is lifestyle acceleration. And the third lever is cost of living. And these 3 levers work together to make you an incredible main character of your life at a young age. Now, before I jump into this further, let me take a step back and tell you what I think are the 2 most important goals in life. Number 1 is hit your goals, have an impact. And number 2 is to accumulate as many peak experiences of joy, happiness, and connection before you die. And for me, I believe both of these are about equally as important. Let's jump back to the 3 levers of living in a city like Medellin while you are young. So lever number 1 is access. And what I mean by this is you can easily meet multimillionaire entrepreneurs here. And the reason for that is in cities like Medellin, if you are a foreigner who's here, then you're part of the club and you can go to a cafe, you can go to certain networking events, and it's just very easy to meet these people. Whereas if you're in a A-tier city, let's just say in the US, you're in New York City, you're in LA, you're in San Diego, San Francisco, wherever, even Miami, there's borders around the groups of high net worth people, and they don't easily let new people into those groups. That's just how the culture has evolved. In a city like Medellin, those borders are way, way less and easier to overcome, especially if you're just a cool, normal, personable dude. The second thing is to meet people with amazing mindsets. I mean, the number of people I met here in Medellin that are into life optimization, running their business, tracking their sleep with their Oura ring, whatever it is a lot. And thirdly, you can do deals with these multimillionaires. It's actually not that hard. If you differentiate yourself as a hardworking young kid who's going to hustle and make it work, these people will hire you and give you a shot. And I've met 2 people now that are crushing it. The first friend of mine, who's a 21-year-old kid, making 20, 30 grand a month, doing video editing for very successful people. And all of those people he's met in person. The second guy I've met is actually a Colombian, and he's also helping out an agency with their tasks in video shooting. And he's been flown around to luxurious cities all through Europe, in Spain, America, etc. But for him, he met the already established entrepreneur here in Medellin. And even beyond just deals, being surrounded by people who have an incredible growth-oriented, abundant mindset is so valuable when you are young, because you're laying the foundation for how you're going to live the next multiple decades of your life. So that's access. Now, the second piece is lifestyle acceleration. What I mean by this is you have a maid, you have a chef, you have a personal trainer, you have all your chiro, physio, etc. And all of this is cheap. And the reason why this is important, I'll reference one of my other YouTube videos here. So in this video about my experiment about becoming very rich, I talk about having an optimized non-business life, health, spirituality, fun and adventure, relationships, charges your battery of life force to give you the energy to scale your business far. Because if you're unhappy, low energy, not inspired, you're not going to have the energy to build a business and inspire people to join your team. So in a city where the cost of living is much lower, you're able to afford all of these lifestyle hacks that you probably couldn't afford in your home country, especially not in your early 20s. And then the third piece is, of course, the cost of living, which depending on wherever your home city is, if you're from a city like Miami or New York, the cost of living is going to be 60 to 70% cheaper. And if you're from a less expensive city, it'll probably be about 50% cheaper. So what this allows for is to save more money. And what the accelerated lifestyle allows for is to have more energy and have more fun along the way. And what the access to people allows for is deal flow, mindset, and an A-tier network. And this is really a hack because usually it's very hard to build an A-tier network. But if you come to Medellin, stay here for a year, you're going to build an incredible network if you go out and meet people. And then even after you leave the city, you can maintain that network. And then all three of these combined directly accelerate your lifestyle in becoming the main character of your life. You're going to hit your goals and have an impact much faster, and you're going to also accumulate more peak experiences along the way. Now, something I believe is true for most people is everything I've just talked about has diminishing returns as you get older. So if we draw a graph, let's just say this axis is the value you're getting from living in a city like Medellin, and this axis is your age. So we'll do value, let's just say 0 to 100, and age we'll do 21 to 65. Now, usually the way this graph kind of works is going to be roughly like this. You're going to get maximum value when you come to a city like Medellin younger. And the reason for that is when you're young, you don't have the money, the resources, the network already built. If you're 40 years old and you already are a multimillionaire and you can afford an incredible lifestyle in the US or in Europe and you already have an amazing network, then the marginal value of coming to a city like Medellin is much less because all the lifestyle hacks you kind of already have. So for me, I'm 33, and to me, Medellin is still valuable, but it won't be as valuable forever. So I imagine I will have a period of time here, but I'm not going to spend the rest of my life here. And as a fun example of this, just a couple of days ago, I hosted a chess tournament at my apartment here, which is a luxury apartment that I probably wouldn't be comfortable paying for in my hometown of Vancouver. And I made one Instagram post, and my friend Evan also made an Instagram post. We co-founded the chess club, and we filled it up immediately with super high-level entrepreneurs, guys doing M&A, buying and selling companies, all sorts of stuff. And it was almost effortless. So that was just one example of me combining my passion with networking and meeting cool people. And those sorts of things are really easy to do in these types of cities. And to take a step back, to summarize all of this, really what I am saying is how important it is to optimize your environment, especially when you are young, because most young people in the early 20s have bad environments. Their family is not growth oriented. The type of schooling they're doing is not really preparing them to truly succeed in life. So it takes a lot of initiative and oftentimes courage for a young person to engineer the environment they want, to say, hey, mom and dad, I'm moving to Bali, I'm moving to Medellin, I'm going to this mastermind, whatever it is. But if you can do that, it gives you a massive advantage. And the final thing I'll say, guys, is, of course, do your research. These countries I've talked about have certain aspects of them that are more dangerous than the US or Europe or wherever first world country you're from. So make sure you're careful about it. And the final caveat to all of this only works if you have good self-discipline. If you come to a city like Medellin and you don't have good self-discipline, there's so many affordable, tempting distractions for you to go down that you could be completely derailed. So everything I just talked about only works if you have good self-discipline. All right, guys, that's all for this video. Let me know your thought in the comments below. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.